been waiting forever to say that. Hello, Hearties. Welcome to the Hearties Hotline. I am Cammie, the hooked Heartie. Oh, it's been a long time.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah, the hawk-eyed Heartie, and we are back. Finally.
Oh my gosh, I have missed you so much.
Yes, normally we talk a lot more in the off season, being best friends, but we've been very busy with the holidays and yeah,
It's been a couple of months.
big long discussions have kind of been on pause with the craziness of the school year and the holidays and
Yeah, so we're back. And we're talking
so
about
excited.
one of our favorite subjects, One Calls the Heart. Of course.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm starting you off right away. So I'm just going to throw you from the frying pan into the fire. So hold on, babe.
Great. Should be fun.
So we are talking about, of course, season 13, episode 1, Up in the Air. Oh boy. Lots of things up in the air. But
For what?
my question for you, my dear girl, is what would you call this podcast episode?
Ooh,
What would you call this segment? Because I think I have the perfect title. So I want to hear what you can come up with.
perfect title. Okay. Mm. You know where my mind goes.
Okay.
I would have to go with dueling mustaches.
We will get to the mustaches.
I think I can top that.
Okay. That well, I mean, I guess in a way this does kind of go in with the theme of dueling mustaches. Um, by the way, it depends on the term of the duel, if just for clarification.
Yeah.
Here is my proposed title for this segment. Don't mess this up.
Yeah, I mean that's also quite relevant.
Well, but think about it. Everything is riding on everything. It's 2 days until the park opening, and no one's ready. So Lee is thinking, don't mess this up. and
He's got a lot riding on that.
and Faith is worrying about having everything right for the clinic. Don't mess this up. And then, of course, my personal favorite, Charlotte telling Nathan, don't mess this up.
I could go with
You,
that.
you
I
can
could
go
go
with
with that.
that? Okay, excellent. So let's talk about that very special lady.
So exciting to see her back. First of all, just she's a powerhouse, right? Brooke Shields is such a top tier actress to have
She's
on
an
this
acting
show. She
legend.
was one of the first major names to guest star on the show
Yeah.
back in season 3. And, we've had a big handful since then too, but
Just don't
it,
forget James Brolin, because
well,
that's huge.
yeah, that was earlier. But I mean, that was huge when they announced a major character, even though she wasn't like recurring all the time, to have her be
Yeah.
a main character's parent was a big deal because there was that potential for her to come back. And so to have such a big name in a part like that was a
Uh-huh.
pretty big, exciting piece of news for a show that hadn't quite taken hold yet in
Yeah.
viewership. Still kind of climbing to, I mean, it wasn't anywhere like what it is now.
No, it was big for us, but
Well, of
that's us.
course. Yeah. So, thrilled that she's back, really excited that, she's doing that. And I saw part of an interview with her where she was just talking about how, she'd kind of given up hope, so to speak, of being back on the show because it had been so long, and that everything just lined up. Schedules were perfect when they asked her, and she was really happy. So that's really great, to know that she had kind of hoped to come back at some point, and I
Yeah.
mean, back then you're in season 3 and then they don't call you back for a while.
Yeah.
Who would have thought this show is still going to be on a decade later, to reprise the role finally at that point? So, I mean, these days, a lot of shows have revivals and things, but like back then, that wasn't
No,
really something to think about that in a decade I could play this role again.
no, definitely not. I remember hearing once that an actor or a celebrity thinks that they have made it when they are asked to be in a Muppet movie because the Muppets only deal with big
Exactly.
names. And
That's fair. Yeah.
yes, it absolutely is fair. And Brooke Shields, back in the late 80s, was in Muppets Take Manhattan. And she is the only actor who has been in a Muppet movie who is also on When Calls the Heart.
That is a piece of trivia Hearties are not going to find on any other podcast. I think that is very specific to Hearties Hotline. That is
That
hot.
is exclusive.
That is an exclusive trivia piece of knowledge we are dropping for you right now.
You're welcome.
Share that wide, Hearties, and tell them where you heard it.
Okay, so did she just completely fall back into that role? Because it looked like it to me.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what I wanted to talk with you about too is
Yeah?
we didn't know how this was going to go. We knew that
No.
we were going to pick back up before everything was resolved with them having to go to Cape Fullerton, but we
Oh,
didn't know the timeline. We didn't know a lot of factors. We also knew that Charlotte was going to be a part of this, but we didn't know if she'd be in the first episode right away. Throughout the off season, there was a lot of speculation. We didn't know how things were really going to get started. So I'm curious what you think about how they time jumped, how they started, because that was a big thing for me when I was like picturing what this season's going to be like, trying to imagine what might happen, how this, how we meet Charlotte. Do we meet her at, is this right after they've gone to Cape Fullerton? Is this much later? How much does she know about Nathan? All of that kind of stuff. Um, and so I thought this was perfect personally. I thought it was the perfect amount of time jump. They've settled already. There isn't the beginning awkwardness of like, oh, you're the man coming in to my late son's role, I mean, that
yeah.
has a lot of potential, especially with someone very strong in their opinion, one might say, as Charlotte.
Putting it very delicately and putting it very diplomatically.
And I mean, even when she got the letter last year from Charlotte, she
Yeah.
didn't know if she was being, a caring grandmother who just wants to show her support, or if she was being condescending and
And
judging
pushy.
how she was parenting. And you couldn't really tell from the writing. It could have been either.
Yeah.
And so I really thought it was great that they skipped over that and that we didn't have to deal with that how does she feel question.
Yeah.
And that she has clearly opened her business and home, to all four of them, which she did not have to do for Nathan and Allie. How many bedrooms do you suppose she has at a boarding house like this? Like, that's a big chunk of your revenue to have that many rooms taken out.
Yeah.
So, so I thought that was really great. I thought it was neat to kind of see her more established in a town because she was so kind of rough around the edges. in the
She
earlier
was
season.
country through and
She
through.
was she's pretty country. And so even her wardrobe was a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Her hair was done up a little bit nicer, all that kind of stuff. And so it really just showed that she'd kind of mellowed a little bit. She's kind of, not really on her own as much out in the country. She's moved into town. She's quite a bit more social with people, running a business. She just seems more established and more comfortable in who she is because she was kind of still not seeming like she was to terms with being a widow.
Even if she's social with people like Skeet Riverton.
He's a character. He's
Definitely.
definitely a character. I he was fun. I'd say I'd be open to seeing him again. He was quite a fun little character.
Yeah. You know, my favorite change in Charlotte herself is the fact that when Nathan telephoned her and she picked up the phone and didn't even ask who it was, she just said, "Whoever you are, it's after 10 p.m." And if you remember, she was upset about the fact that the sidewalks were rolling up at 9 o'clock and she couldn't find a poker game to save her life.
Yeah.
And she couldn't go to the hotel because the front desk closes at 10. So she has definitely, as you put it, mellowed in her time observance because she was much more on a curfew type of hour saying, "Why is this telephone ringing after 10 p.m.?" instead of, "Where's my
Yeah.
poker game?"
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I really liked that. But overall, it was really nice to see them all comfortable already. It was really
Yeah.
nice to see them all. I mean, just as a piece of Elizabeth and Nathan's relationship, I know it's a boarding house and everything. There's obviously many differences, but they're living under the same roof all summer, spending a lot of time together, um,
Having all their
having
meals
all
together.
their meals together and just kind of, for many intents and purposes, very much living as a family.
Yeah.
And and in that sense, then as an extended family with Charlotte there as well, I imagine that was really good for the relationship, just Elizabeth and Charlotte, the two of them. It
Yeah.
was probably amazing for Charlotte to get to spend that much time with little Jack. Um, and now, really a fabulous way to kind of introduce them as being a family because here in a roundabout way, she's now spent so much time with Nathan and Allie that it's not like she like even if she didn't necessarily care for the whole idea like she seems to, um, it would be harder to just let go of that idea and be okay with Elizabeth remarrying or anything if it was just some stranger that she's met once or twice. Like it really solidifies her feeling comfortable with that situation for her grandson and also being able to feel comfortable still being a part of the family with Elizabeth and little Jack and not feeling like now she's an outsider. I feel like it just really set it up for being a nicer, cohesive family.
Yeah. I agree. True to my nature, I wrote down her little speech.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's hear it.
Yep. When I found out that I was going to have a grandson, it was as if a little piece of Jack had been given back to me. And it wasn't easy to think of anyone else being a father to him. Okay, time out for just a second right here.
Yeah.
The look that Nathan gave right there when
Mhm.
Charlotte said that she couldn't think of anyone else being a father to him. Nathan looked almost sad, and it
Mhm.
was as if he was reminded of that conversation that they had a couple of times in season 12 about little Jack's going to grow up someday and he's going to want to know what happened to his father.
Yeah.
So that was that look on Nathan's face very much said that that comment from Charlotte brought some of that back momentarily, but it brought it back. And so then that led me to wonder, does Charlotte know? Did
Yeah.
they tell her over the summer what the history between Nathan and Jack is?
If I had to guess, I would say yes, that they
I
did.
would say yes as well.
The guilt he had with Elizabeth, I would feel he would feel the exact same way about Charlotte.
Oh, I think he would feel worse about it with Charlotte.
Well, yeah. But I don't think he would feel comfortable, especially staying there
Mm,
and getting to know her and helping out around the house. I mean, the helping out around the house definitely, I don't want to say was done out of guilt. I don't think, but almost obligation, but not in a bad way. Kind of that
no.
obligation, that responsibility that you feel for people that you care about, that you want to depend upon you.
Well, and he wanted to win her over. He wanted Charlotte to like him.
Yeah. And I mean,
But
if you think back to his interactions with Tom as well, like he is a good man. He is an honorable man. He does see the importance that Jack played in everyone else's lives. And I think he would feel that whether he'd had anything to do with what happened with Jack or not. I
yeah,
think he would still feel that coming into a town, taking over this role of a very beloved person to the entire town, and then later meeting his
I'm getting
family.
there. I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry, I'm stepping on all of your notes.
I'm trying to finish her speech if you'll quit interrupting
Okay,
me.
okay, whoa. But so you said, does she know? I think she
Yeah,
knows. That would be my gut instinct.
yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find out later that she doesn't, and they end up telling her in a later episode.
It would be a very interesting plot point to explore in another episode, but I don't think that they would do it because it would be too much rehashing.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
that's kind of why my gut says she knows, because it
yeah.
seems like something, since they've talked about it so many times already, it seems like something they
Mhm.
would do off camera so that if it comes up again, it can be casual, mild, not a major plot point like we've already had multiple times.
Yeah, Hearties need a little break from Nathan's guilt.
Whew. We know it'll come back. I mean, we already have a season 14, by the way,
Yes, we
greenlit. So
do.
I'm sure we'll have some guilt somewhere.
Yes, but let's be positive here.
Okay. Okay. Continue on with your speech.
But despite what I might think of that dubious mustache, you're honorable and you are kind and you're as good a man as my son was in your own way.
That was so perfect.
It
That was
was.
so in keeping with the demeanor of her character. It was so perfectly a compliment while also being such a mom to
Yes.
Jack still. Like you're wonderful. I mean, I liked him better, but you know,
But think about what an amazing compliment that is coming from Jack's mother. I mean, that's huge for the new man.
yes. And to the earlier point, I don't think she would have gotten there just coming for a quick visit to say
No,
happy birthday to little Jack or
no.
anything like that. I think she would have seen he was a good person and she maybe would have felt comfortable, but I don't think she would have fully embraced the situation like that. Like she's
Yeah.
seeing him care for Jack. She's seeing him
Yeah.
act with
Sacrifice.
Allie as a father. Like she said, I feel this way because I've seen
I'm
how
good.
you. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. See? Whew.
If I had any doubt, all I'd have to do is look at that gem of a daughter of yours to know that my grandson couldn't hope for a better father. Complimenting Allie and Nathan to the highest degree.
I think
It's a beautiful way to start the season. It I don't I cannot think of a better way to start the season than to get
yeah.
Mama Thornton's blessing.
And it just sets the tone, I think, for like the direction they're trying to go. They're already pretty solidified as a family. Um,
Except that he needs to put a little something something on her finger.
well, he's been busy with a to-do list.
And very busy grooming that dubious mustache. Thank you, Charlotte. I even wrote in my notes, thank you, Charlotte. Somebody agrees with me.
I want to say though, I thought that was hilarious the direction they took it because we've heard from before, right? It was his off-season mustache and they just agreed like the last time they just agreed to like leave it for the first part of filming to, write it into the show. And I love that they did it again. So it's just kind of keeping with, oh, when he kind of has time off, this is what he does, which is very normal. It's a very realistic thing for people to do. When I said dueling mustaches, this is why I said that is because neither either neither one of them or both of them really won the duel of the mustaches because they both separately chose to get rid of it for the other one in their reasoning anyway.
Or for their girls.
Well, right, but their reasoning was, well, oh, I couldn't be competing with him, or oh, I didn't want him to think I was copying him. So they both kind of blamed the other one, but also kind of said the other one could have the look and I'm gonna let it go. And both kind of tried to play it off like they're being the bigger person and letting the other one have it. But neither one of them knew when they did that the other one had done it too. And so that's what I really liked about that is because it really did kind of put them on equal playing fields, which was nice to see them kind of treating each other as more equals, even though there's obviously a power dynamic there and an uncomfortable one at that when you like his daughter.
Mm. Well, let's just say that Nathan should know a little bit of what Oliver is feeling right now because, you know, Charlotte is not Elizabeth's mother, but it's the closest that he has gotten to a mother figure of hers.
Mhm.
So I think if anything, Nathan needs to have a little bit of empathy for Oliver in this season. Because at the end of last season, it was denial. And so now we need to move into the empathy stage that he needs to take a little pity on the poor kid and let Allie and Oliver kind of find their footing.
That's a great way to put it. I did also love the way when he kind of got that dig in at him for writing her all summer, the look on Elizabeth's face to him. It was such a mom look to a dad of just like let them be. She really just seemed so motherly with Allie this
She did.
episode. And I know that there was a piece of the conflict that was more internal with her and how she felt about it and how she wanted Nathan to do what he wants to do. But I think the biggest piece of it was Allie. And I know that was
Oh,
just
yeah.
maybe just supposed to be the catalyst of it and not
No,
the
I agree
focal
with
point.
you.
But I feel like that was 100%. I almost thought for a second there before she talked to him that she was going to suggest that just Allie stay.
Mm,
Like maybe she can stay with the Canfields or somebody.
yeah,
Because that just seemed like the part that was eating at her heart was that here Nathan's an adult. He's making a decision because this is the woman that he loves and he wants to take care of Jack like a father and all those things. But Allie's just kind of along for the ride. And yes, she loves them and wanted to kind of help and be there with them. I don't think she didn't want to be there that summer, but now that school's starting and now that it's her last year of school and she wants to be around her friends and around the
hmm
boy she likes and all of these different things and not miss out on this experience. And I could see that that was definitely what Elizabeth was, heartbroken about, that here this is causing this pain for her. She's not able to make a choice because she's not an adult yet. And so I do think that that was just really beautiful, honestly, as much as that was hard to see her do that, and it kind of didn't make sense because Nathan was very clear that he has no regrets about this. He's not gonna
yeah,
feel bad about going with her, and he wants to be there with her. But it is kind of that tough spot of the adult is making that decision, but then it is kind of forcing the hand
yeah,
for the other kid. And when you think about a lot of situations where you have a child with an illness or a disability or any sort of challenge that's happening to the child, is sometimes those other children in the family don't get to, live their life the way they really want to
yeah,
always, because you're having to make decisions as a family to help someone who is in greater need at that time. And that's really hard. And so I can see that Elizabeth was starting to look at this as a parent of two children and how do
yeah.
I do what's best for this child while not having that be detrimental to the other child. Um, and that's what I thought was really beautiful about that storyline, is that it was kind of, she wasn't just thinking of little Jack anymore. It was
Yeah.
trying to balance the needs of everyone.
So, number one, I've been in Allie's spot before. I moved to a different country because my
Yeah.
because my parents said, "Okay, we're going." I said, "Okay." So, I get that. What I really really loved is that they kept showing the scenes between Allie and Elizabeth. They didn't just bank on the scenes from last season, and they didn't
Mhm.
just bank on the scenes that had probably happened off camera all summer.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
because that the two of them got closer as well, living
Yeah.
in that boarding house, and she probably very much does feel like her mother now. Just get moving, slowpoke. Make it official. Moving on. But what I really loved is number one, when she read the introduction to the kids guide for
Whew.
the park to Elizabeth. Elizabeth's reaction was just as important as how much the words flowed out of Allie.
Mhm.
And Allie telling her very openly and without guile, I got back here and the words just flowed out of me. Did you also notice, because I think we even said something about this last year, she didn't call her Elizabeth to her face again after Elizabeth gave her permission.
Oh, last season. Yeah, we
Yes,
didn't hear it again.
last year. Elizabeth gave her permission and she said, okay, Elizabeth. And she called her Elizabeth to Rosemary when she was sick. Yeah, and I just needed to get a grilled cheese for Elizabeth, but she didn't call her Elizabeth to her face. And I kept on thinking that they were going to do something with that, but they didn't. And so to bring it back casually and just to have Allie say, thanks, Elizabeth.
And saying it so casually showed how much she's said it, that it's just common
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
And in the same conversation, apologize again for skipping school that first day, which brought in a great amount of nostalgia with it. Speaking of motherhood, did you notice the change in Elizabeth's wardrobe?
Yes, but they didn't know at this point. She may have known. She did not tell people until midway through the season.
Well, all I'm saying
I
is
know
her costumes
her
are usually
very tight.
very form fitting, and they accentuate that gorgeous waist of hers a whole lot. And I specifically looked at that dress and I said, huh, we've got
Yeah.
some breathing room in that dress.
I mean, I think it's possible with them having gotten married right before the season began filming and they were talking. I'm sure that they talk about wardrobe every year because they're trying to, oh, we're in the
Yep.
20s now, trying to update things. And it is very possible that they may have said, hey, we're going to start trying after we're married. It wouldn't hurt to like just move towards this type of wardrobe just in case. Then it's not a shock mid-season if we have to go looser or try to hide anything. So it is possible that there was like some planning there. Um, like that, I
See?
don't know. I doubt they'll ever like come right out and say something that
Oh,
obvious if
no.
but I have heard craft services was starting to wonder because she was asking for pickles on everything. So
Ah,
she had the very typically stereotypical pregnancy craving of pickles. I don't know what that is. I never had that.
I've always loved dill pickles, so I I have them when I am pregnant and when I'm not pregnant. So okay, before we completely move off of the mustache, there is another duel of the mustaches, but it was much less awkward. It was a
Okay.
lot more humorous, and it was done all in good fun for a change. Do you know which duel I'm talking about?
No, fill me in.
I am speaking of His Honor, the Governor, running a red light and getting ticketed by the constable, also in a mustache.
Yeah, that was a funny scene. It was, I mean, it was clear he didn't notice that he did it, but it was also clear enough that everyone else did that I get why Nathan did what he did and kind of made the joke about it. And then he ultimately wasn't going to, but then, of
No.
course, it felt like he had to accept it.
Well, Lucas said, nope, no, carry on. No man is above the law. Okay. So he writes out the ticket, and then when he hands it to him, thank you for everything you did
Yes.
with the clinic.
Which
it
is kind
shows
of an awkward timing.
it is an awkward
I really
timing.
think, like,
It
like
is
almost like I just realized that I'm ticketing the person who helped save my kid. Oops.
yes, but number one, Lucas told him to. I mean,
Yeah.
he told him to, and number two, it really showed how far those two have come.
I hope we get many more scenes between the two of them.
I want bromance scenes. I
I
do.
do.
But
They're just so sweet.
you know what's going to be the ultimate when Lucas comes to Nathan to talk about Edie. That's what I want to see. Because right now he's only talking to Lee about Edie.
I mean, I do feel like for right now, that's a good idea.
I agree. I agree.
It would be interesting.
What I'm saying is that will be when we know that they have really arrived. When Lucas comes to Nathan.
I feel like it would almost have to be not going to him, but like they end up in the same place and just kind
Fair
of
enough.
casually start talking. And then inevitably, I feel like, again, it would have to be a two-way conversation.
Oh yeah.
Like it would have to actually include Nathan sort of asking Lucas something about Elizabeth, because how much more awkward can it get than that? And that could
I'm
actually
talking
be
about
really
that. I'm just
good.
talking about that they're doing guy
No, no,
talk, talking
no,
about
I
their
don't.
girls.
That's all I'm saying. But just like something simple, like I said this, and she seemed really upset by that. But I don't know. Is that something I shouldn't say to a woman, or like, and then have it go the other way, and then say, well, I said this to Edie, and like maybe they're both kind of like irritated at the guys during one episode, and they're both just like, I don't know, I didn't.
Yeah.
She asked me if she looked good, and I, looked at her too long before I answered, or some sort of ridiculous, silly thing where they just kind of were both kind of not thinking it through, and then they both kind of give each other advice. Like that'd be hilarious.
So, who do you think Nathan is going to go to bounce the idea off of proposing to Elizabeth? Because that is one thing I don't think he should do to Lucas. That just seems wrong.
No, I don't think he should go to anyone to talk about it except maybe Allie.
Hmm.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Because do you remember that comment that Elizabeth told Allie? When your dad's ready to get married, you'll know because he'll tell you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
So I kind of think he will tell her before he does and make sure that she's okay with it and
And maybe have her help him plan it.
something. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do feel like there will be. I'm really torn on this though because Jack was involved in the last proposal. So I don't, as much as I feel like it'd be cool to have it kind of be a whole family thing, I also want it to be super different.
Oh, I don't I want it to be just the two of them, but I would love Allie to have a behind the scenes part. Have her help plan it or help set it up, but it be just the two of them. Even though we only saw one half of this engaged couple, I for one am kind of thrilled to see him back. It's another season for returning characters. So
I know. Isn't that fun?
it is, especially two characters from complete opposite ends of the scale.
Yeah. Yeah. And multiples, like things that were happening in much different stories, much different characters. just kind of weaving together, it just makes it feel so real because in real life, you don't have everybody live in the same town forever and nobody moves away and people that move away never come back. Like it makes it so much more realistic to have people kind of coming and going and gone for a while, but then you see them again and it, it really helps it feel like a real town that has real people.
Yeah, I do have to say, though, speaking of real life versus fiction, I thought that they would be married by now, Rachel and Christopher.
Well,
It
okay, so let's go back though because I believe this is one of the things that maybe got retconned. When did we see Christopher last?
The last time we saw him was season 8.
I don't know all the specifics, but I know I saw in an interview too, though, that they had actually planned a whole Christopher storyline without the actor, just like Gowan hearing him and getting a lot of updates on him and Rachel, and possibly even maybe them getting married or having a baby. And
Okay.
I believe they just had to cut the storyline because they had too many storylines for it might have been last season or the season before that they had originally planned to do that.
Okay.
And they just decided to put it off until they could actually have one or both of the actors join the season and make it a bigger storyline for Gowan than they didn't want it to just be this side thing where Gowan was hearing about his son. They really wanted to be able to bring him back, and they just had too many other storylines going on. I don't know how in depth that got. I don't know if they actually shot it and then had to cut it, or if it was just
Mm-hmm.
in the story room where they were bouncing ideas off of each other.
I'm really excited to see what all they're going to do with Christopher this season. But there are two things that I was so glad that they included. Number one, Henry telling Christopher, "You're more than just your job." Because if there is anybody who needed to figure that out, it was Henry Gowan.
Yeah. And how powerful to get like words of wisdom from someone who actually learned it, not just is
Mm,
spouting off things that they think they should say as a parent.
yep.
Yeah.
And number two, "Hey fella, you want to give me a hand?" How sweet was it for Christopher? Because he doesn't really know little Jack. They they've never really interacted much. They haven't been, I don't think that they've really been in any scenes together.
Mm-mm.
And for him to go up and let's just say that he was doing it because he wanted to involve a child, to
Mhm.
be more friendly and more approachable. It just happened to be little Jack. Either way, it's precious.
Something tells me that Christopher knew who Little Jack was. That, this town, he's been in the town for a while now, setting up this electricity. So I'm sure he's heard about them trying to open the insulin clinic back up and that the family's going to be coming back into town. So plus I kind of have a feeling that Henry would talk about it a little bit. Just
Oh, I think so.
everybody in this
But
town's his family.
but little Jack activates Hope Valley's very first traffic light.
And then Rosemary's the first one to drive through it.
Of course.
Of course.
And Lucas is the first one to get ticketed for running through it.
Go figure.
So let's talk about that clinic and those people involved. Sometimes I have believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. Lewis Carroll. How brilliant was it that Rosemary said, what would she do? What
Exactly.
would she do? How can we be Elizabeth and be her light? Which, by the way, I've never thought anything else, but I just have to say, for Aaron Krakow to bring to life Nathan's words about the light being gone from her eyes,
Hmm.
she nailed it.
Yeah,
That was
totally.
that was amazing. That was
Yeah.
amazing acting. And then turns
It
out
was,
that
and it was a great narrative. The way that they wrote it was a great narrative too, to describe the essence of what was really happening with Elizabeth's
mm,
character. You
yeah,
know, resignation was such a perfect word that she was just resigned to not getting to do what she wanted, not being where she wanted to be, not starting the school year, not like doing all of these things that she had planned to do. She just really become resigned to the fact that she wasn't able to do anything that she wanted to do.
yeah,
Also, also just him going to Rosemary. That
yeah,
was such a nice piece of all the people he could have gone to just to vent about what was happening and everything. He knew that that was the right person to
yep.
help him help Elizabeth.
And then because he used less mustache, more clarity, I'm sorry, but do you know how wonderful it is to have a character like Charlotte Thornton agree with me?
Yeah.
Kevin McGarry is just so handsome. No need to cover any of it up. He looks so handsome without the facial hair. Sorry. But because he used less mustache, more clarity, he was able to scheme in the best way possible and just think what Elizabeth would have done. And Skeet Riverton turned out to be useful for something because he got his nephew to fly in the inspector so that they can stay at home. Okay, side note, my mom and I watched the episode together, and she said, "Is that guy going to be a permanent character?" And I said, "I hope so. He's adorable." Skeet's nephew? Look me in
Uh-huh.
the eye and tell me that Skeet's nephew is not a very fine
I
specimen.
very fine. I honestly meant to look him up too because he really looked familiar to me. And I haven't done it yet, so that's my bad. But if we see him again, we'll go more in depth and I'll do some research.
Well, we got to have something to talk about next time. But I loved all of the talk about how everyone worked so hard over the summer to make the clinic a reality. And they have the first electric freezer in the territory so that they could
They could
become,
treat 50 people a day. They could treat 50 people a day with diabetes. That is amazing. It's the only one in the territory, so people could travel, people could move closer to there because of it, and yet still
mm-hmm,
be not having to be in a big busy city. That's huge.
yeah. So speaking of huge, I'm going to divert because we know that we're going to have a whole lot more time to talk about the clinic. And
Yes.
so because we're just getting started here. So the clinic is going to blossom and we're going to have a lot of time to talk about the clinic, but I have to talk about the huge idea that Lee is keeping his promise 11 years in the making.
Woo! Oh my goodness. How many times have we predicted that there would finally be a grand stage?
That was in season 2. That was in season 2 that Leland Coulter promised Rosemary Laveau that he would build her a theater. And it is finally happening.
We also did camp parties over the
We d-
summer, shortly after that, and we had a whole picture up of sock puppets doing Rosemary's Theater show. In fact, I will have to look for it. I will look for it for next episode. I believe I still have my Hickam sock puppet somewhere.
that
We'll
that
have to
wasn't that wasn't with me. That was before you and I were partners. We didn't do the
was that
sock
before?
puppets. Yeah, it
Oh
was.
my gosh.
But you did
Hmm.
it. You did it.
Well, yes, I don't think I would misremember me participating in it, but
Yeah.
I will have to find these goodies to share with you all again.
Yes, I want to see those. And next, I think that you should make a sock puppet of Joseph and a sock puppet of Minnie. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why is that? Why would they be the next ones in line?
Because I am very intrigued by what Minnie said.
There's something coming, isn't there?
There is something coming because she said it opened a door in me when
Hmm.
Elizabeth asked her to take on the classroom until she got back. And Joseph said, "Any idea what's behind that door?" And she said, "No, not yet, but I want to find out." And of course, Joseph, perfect words. "I'll be right there beside you."
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't be better.
Okay, so let's process this just a tiny bit.
Okay.
We haven't brought up some other big Hearties news that happened in the off season that could involve the cafe that Minnie owns at some point. So interesting. Maybe this was always in the plans when they started this storyline for Minnie, so that they would have a reason for Minnie to not be in the cafe next year. Potentially. Someone else might need to
Possibility.
come back to run it. So we
Very.
are, of course, referring to the news that when we already have season 14 greenlit, unbelievable news. The earliest they've ever announced another season, weeks
Yep.
before the premiere of this season.
Yeah, they've never
Uh,
done it before the premiere of the coming season. No.
no, that's crazy. So, um, yeah, Lori Loughlin is coming back for, I believe,
That's what I heard.
6 episodes of season 14, with the potential for more in the future.
Uh-huh. And
Um,
she said in Kansas City, I saw a video
mhm.
because Chris McNally announced that Julie is pregnant. So there is something in the Hope Valley water, is what they said.
Clearly, because we also didn't mention Kayla Wallace is pregnant with her
Kayla
and
Wallace
Kevin
is pregnant.
McGinty's baby. So we've
Aaron
got
is pregnant.
Aaron
And
and Ben's
now,
baby, and yeah, this is a lot of babies that within 6 of each other.
Yeah.
right before they start filming again.
Yeah. Too bad Andrea's not pregnant again.
I know, talk about timing. For once, one of them could have been pregnant on screen. We could have potentially actually built one of them in.
Oh, Lori said, "This is the perfect time for me to come back because then I'll just play with all the babies and then give them back to their parents."
Oh my goodness. So anyway, I'm just curious if that could tie in with anything going on with Minnie, if they had the plan that hopefully Lori would be coming back when they were filming this one. They were probably already in talks at that point when they were filming over the
Probably.
summer. So they might have been trying to set up, some flexibility with management of the cafe, um, or something along that line.
Well, and this is how the Valley Voice started with Rosemary. There was a
Right.
yearning. There was something
Mhm.
awakened in Rosemary, and she didn't want to work at the dress shop anymore.
Yeah.
So this is how the Valley Voice started. So what's going to happen now? What's going to go on with Minnie?
Well, and it's the same with Lee. Felt like he was missing a calling
Yeah.
before he became mayor. Just sort of a pattern with people kind of, I mean, kind of following along the Hickam trail of like trying every job in town, but not quite. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do think it is a town where you can really follow your dreams.
Lee becoming mayor was the best political move that they could have done in Hope Valley.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Hickam running on fire safety clearly is going to be the winner this season because if they did not have all of this fire equipment, this forest fire might get way worse.
Forest fire or arson?
Ooh.
So, you know my tradition, wake up at midnight on Monday morning and watch it. Because there was no school on Monday, I woke the kids up. I woke my two middle kids up, and one of them said, I was so proud of him. Right after the episode ended, right after he said, I won't be able to sleep now because the fire was such a cliffhanger. They left it on such a
Yeah,
cliffhanger.
definitely.
Um, he said, I bet Farmer McGinty started that fire. And I went,
I
look at
mean,
you.
that didn't actually occur to me till now, but when you said it, that's pretty. If not, they're definitely going to play with us to make us think it was him for a while. Because the way he was being all sneaky at the beginning and then never really playing that up later, it does seem like they were foreshadowing something.
It would not surprise me if McGinty started that fire because it looks, I don't know exactly if it's 100% right, but it looks like it's Edie's ranch.
Or yeah, yeah, pretty close for sure. He also doesn't want the entire park
Park.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. I am looking forward to Oliver saving Allie and taking her back to town under orders.
Under orders, but also defying orders since Bill actually ordered him to stay in town.
Yeah, but Bill
So,
doesn't
I
have,
mean,
no, no, no. Bill doesn't have direct authority because he's
I'm
a judge.
gonna argue that for 1 second because we sure saw him in Red Surge in this episode. There was a lot of Red Surge in this episode.
There was a lot of red surge in this episode, and apparently, uh, Bill is gaining a permanent house guest.
That actually is pretty cool.
I think it is. And
I
the
think
way
that's
he said it, too, like, not up for debate. You're coming to live with me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where that's going. But when Oliver said to Bill, I was supposed to be with them, I'm going, he didn't exactly argue. And
No, we didn't.
and in the preview for the next one, we see Nathan shouting, Oliver, get her back to town. Yes, sir. And Allie looks back when she's on the back of the horse with Oliver. My mom also thinks that those two are just so adorable. So she's really
They
looking forward
are.
to they are. They are so adorable. I can't wait to see. And we haven't had a storyline of young love in quite a while. So I'm excited to see what this is going to look like.
Really, since Christopher
Yeah,
and Rachel.
pretty much.
Mm.
Parties, well, there are a lot of things up in the air, aren't there? We will see you next week for episode 2, and we will hopefully find out what's happening with this fire. Before we go, I do want to give a shout out. Dear friend of the podcast just recently celebrated his birthday. Happy birthday, Mark!
We love you, Mark.
All right. Wherever you are in your day, Hearties, morning, afternoon, or evening, we hope that you feel loved, you feel important, you feel wanted and needed. And we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Hearties.